Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om children and Hari Om all the parents. So today we have with us Swamiji here, and Manojji will introduce who our Swamiji is.
Hari Om, good to see you all. And as the Indian said, we're very lucky to have Swamiji here today. So a little introduction on Swamiji. Swami Aparajitananda. He's in our Yamunotri Center in Libertyville, up north. But before that, he was in Bangalore, and before that, before he became a Swamiji, he was a lecturer in engineering in Bangalore. And on his commute to work, one day he noticed there was a local Chinmaya Mission Center nearby that was advertising a Gita lecture. And Swamiji decided to drop in to listen to that Gita lecture, and that is how he got convinced about this path. And from there, he went on to do a rigorous training program in Sandipani in Mumbai, and 2 years later, he was initiated and received Diksha, and then traveled around India at various centers, and then ultimately was ordained as a Swamiji in 2018. So Swamiji has given lectures in many parts of India, and his lectures are wonderful, very, very insightful, and we're so fortunate. We've been so fortunate already over the last 2 days, and Swamiji, thank you for gracing us today. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yeah, thank you very much, Swamiji, and all of you who attended the discourses, beautiful discourses over the last couple days. We had 3 discourses. We have also Swamiji's, the book that Swamiji covered on tips for healthy living outside for purchase. So please purchase the book if you have a chance. One other announcement, just a Q&A.
Yeah, so Swamiji would be conducting Q&A today, so it's a little bit of a talk and then really opening it up so that any questions you have from the study classes, from the lectures, if you happen to listen to them yesterday and day before, please feel free to ask Swamiji. He really is encouraging all of you to please ask questions.
And so next week we have a very special celebration for Shivratri. So we want to encourage all of you to bring your friends and family. We will have a couple of performances and skits with our Nachiketa and our Runi classes. We've been preparing for the past few weeks for that. We will have a puja and also a lunch following. So that'll be 10 to 12:30. Please also volunteer to help set up. We sent out a sign-up genius in our weekly letter. So look forward to seeing everybody next week. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Would you like to listen to a story? Yes. Then there is a condition. Condition is you should sit quietly and pay attention. No unnecessary movements. Very obedient. Very disciplined. Nothing should be in your hand, pen and tick, 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 nothing. Ready? Yes. So, I'll tell you a story, okay? So there was this child who was 10 years of age, and he had a great desire. What was that desire? He wanted to become a master in martial arts. You know martial arts? Yeah, you know. Okay. So then he went to the master. The master started training him. And within 2-3 months or something, a great tragedy happened. He lost his left hand. Some accident. It was very sad. So he went to his master. Master, even now can I become an expert in martial arts? Master looked at him and said, yes, you have to just do what I say. He said, I am ready to do anything. Okay. You have to keep the bottle outside. No sound. Not in your hand. You have to keep it aside. Bottle has to be kept aside. Yes. Shall I continue? Yeah. So then, the master started teaching him one move. There were other children also. They were all taught different moves. But this boy, now what is his condition now? What is his physical condition? He has only one hand. He had lost which hand? Left or right? Left. Very good, very good. You are a good children, paying attention. So then he taught him one move. After 6 months, all the children were called. All the other children were taught different moves. To this boy, the master said, you continue with the same move. Again after 6 months, other children were taught different move. This boy was said, no, you must continue with the same move. 1 year, 2 years, he was asked only to practice that move. Other children were taught very many moves. He was little dejected. So one day, out of dejection, because he is only learning one move, he is not learning other moves, he went to his master and said, sir, don't you think that I should learn other moves? The master said, no, you just practice that move. After years, the big tournament, competition happened. So this boy knew that I am definitely going to lose because I know only one. First round, wonder of wonders, he was winning. Second round, he was winning. Third round, he was winning. He himself was wondering, how is it that I am winning? And finally, quarterfinals, he won. Semi-finals, he was winning. In the final also, he won. He was just not able to understand how is it that he is winning because he only knew one move. So when they were returning, he could not contain his curiosity. So he asked his master, sir, how did I win? So then the master said, my dear son, you won because of 2 reasons. Reason number 1, you have mastered the most difficult move in martial arts. Because you are continuously practicing that move. So therefore you have mastered the most difficult move. This is reason number 1. Reason number 2, for this move, there is only one option for the opponent. And that option is, he will have to hold your left hand. And you don't have your left hand. You understood? Huh? What are the two reasons? Reason number one. Loudly shout. Yes, he mastered the most difficult move. Reason number two. Very good. The only option for the opponent is he will have to hold his, and he did not have left hand. So he was just undefeatable, unconquerable. You understood? So that which was his greatest weakness became his greatest strength. This is what happens when you have the grace and blessings of the Lord. You think it is a weakness, but that very same weakness becomes your greatest strength. Okay? So, what I am trying to say is this. Every day we must pray to the Lord. And that Lord has a mysterious ability to convert your weakness into your greatest strength. How many of you pray every day? Very bad. Very bad. Good. See, most of you don't even pray. You know, there is such an infinite power with you. You know who is God? He is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Do you know the meaning of these terms? Omniscient means what? All-knowing. He knows everything. God is omnipotent. Omnipotent means what? All-powerful. Infinite power. Omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Omnipresent means what? All-pervading, present everywhere. Such an infinite power is there in the hearts of every one of us. But then, only those who connect to Him, only those people will have the access to this infinite knowledge, infinite power, infinite resources. You must learn how to tune to it. Exactly like how you use your mobile phones. If the mobile phone is connected to the internet, you have access to infinite knowledge. Yes or no?
Yes.
You can see anything. Infinite knowledge. But suppose there is no internet connection, then some little something, whatever you have stored in the mobile, that all you can. But suppose it is connected. So which one will you choose? A mobile connected to the internet or the one without connection? With connection, isn't it? In the same way, every one of us, we have this infinite power, ever ready to bless you. But those who don't pray, they are like what? Mobile phone with or without internet? Without. Power is there, but you are not accessing it. That is why every day we must pray. Every day. Whatever your problems are, He will find a solution for you. If you are scared of something, He will make you fearless. If you are weak in studies, He will make you brilliant. If you are physically weak, He will make you physically strong. If you have some kind of health issues, He will ensure that you are free from it. Whatever your problem, there is a one-stop solution to all your problems. So in Bhagavad Gita, this is what Bhagavan again and again says. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam praja. Come to me. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. These are all the verses from Bhagavad Gita. Come to me. Yoga kshemam bhahamyam. I will look after your welfare and well-being. Majjitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi. By my grace you shall overcome all difficulties. Come to me. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. My devotees shall never perish. My devotees are special to me. Those devotees who remember me, who ever keep in touch with me, they are very special. I am a partial God. I am partial to my devotees. Okay? So what you should do? Every day we must pray. Every day. Just like every day you eat, in the same way, there is a food needed for the soul also. Just like you need food for the body, food needed for the soul. So such children who pray every day, they are very brilliant and bright. They are really the blessed ones. Now I tell you how God answers your prayers. Okay? God answers your prayers in 4 ways. How many ways? 4 ways. Number 1, yes. Number 2, no. Number 3, wait. Number 4, take. Here is something better. What's the first one? Yes. Second one? No. Third one? Wait. Fourth one? Take. Here is something better. The first one is what? Yes. Yes means what? Whatever you ask, He will give you. Tathastu. May it be so. Second one? You ask and He will not give you. Why He will not give you? Very good. It is not good for you. Sometimes you ask your mother something and mother will not give you. You say, mother, give me a knife. I want to play. Will mother give you? No. Mother is not giving you because she loves you. Not because she doesn't like you. No. So in the same way, sometimes you are asking for something and He will not give you because it is not good. So yeah, Bhagavan's answer will be no. What is the third one? Wait. When the right time comes, have patience. Have patience. When the right time comes, I will give you. And what's the fourth one? Take. There is something better. What you are asking is something inferior. There is something better which you are not aware of. I will give you that. See? So this is the way the Lord answers our prayers. Okay? So therefore we have the right to ask everything from God. He is our ultimate father and mother, who has given our father and mother. Pidahamasya jagato mata dhata pidamasa. I am the father and mother of this entire universe. So whenever you have any problem, you should go to your father or mother, because they have the best solution for you. In the same way, in life, whatever problems you have, take it to God. Test God. Is He listening to my problems? Is He listening to my prayer? Will He answer my prayer? You will be amazed. You will get answer. It's a guarantee. You will get solution. Then life becomes very joyful. Slowly, what happens? Again and again you pray and you are getting a response. Then slowly your faith becomes strong. Your love for God becomes strong. Your trust in God becomes strong. Your relationship with God becomes strong. And slowly a time comes when you start feeling His presence all the time. You deep down you know, I am not alone, God is with me. What did I say? I am not alone. Once again, I am not alone. Yes. So once that feeling starts coming to you, whatever be the tragedy, whatever be the problem, whatever be the challenge comes, stares at you, you are not shaken. Why? I am not alone. God is with me. You are always cheerful, you are always happy, you are always peaceful, you are always creative, you are always inspired. This is what happens. But what is the price you have to pay for it? Every day? Very good. Every day we must pray. Will you do it? How many of you will do it? Those who do it will be blessed. Okay, choice is yours. So I sincerely invoke the grace and blessings of the Lord. May we all make use of this wonderful opportunity. May we all exercise the right choice, bless ourselves and bless all. Hari Om. Thank you.
There are a lot of more mics in there.
Okay, Hari Om. So we will do Mahamrityunjay mantra for the birthdays in the month of February. First, so for the birthdays, you will have to stand up, then bow down to Bhagavan, and then turn around and bow down to your parents, okay? First, Sophia Stimulus. There she is. She is very young. Then, Keshav Rajagopal. Keshav? No. Oh, okay. Shishubin. Shivani Somashri. Sanaya Malhotra.
She's not here.
Arna Arora.
She's not here.
And Elon Kolombikar. Okay, so for all of them, let's do Mahamrityunjay mantra 3 times. Let's sit straight. Trambakam yajamahe surandham pushtivardhanam urvarabhivabandhanan mrityurshiyamamritat. Om Trambakam yajamahe surandham pushtivardhanam urvarabhivabandhanan mrityurshiyamamritat. Om Trambakam yajamahe surandham pushtivardhanam urvarabhivabandhanan mrityurshiyamamritat. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Sahana bhavatu, sahana bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavai, tejasvinaditamastu ma viddhishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Repeat once. Om Namo Namo Namo.
Om Namo Namo Namo.
Om Namo Achyutaya Namo Shri Anantaya Namo Shri Anantaya Namo Achyutaya Namo Achyutaya Namo Shri Anantaya Namo Shri Anantaya Namo Sundaraya Namo Sundaraya Namo Suravanditaya Namo Suravanditaya Namo Sundaraya Namo Sundaraya Namo Suravanditaya Namo Suravanditaya Namo Madhavaya Namo Madhavaya Namo Madhusudanaya Namo Madhusudanaya Namo Madhavaya Namo Madhavaya Namo Madhusudanaya Namo Madhusudanaya Namo Karanaya Namo Karanaya Namo Narayanaya Namo Narayanaya Namo Karanaya Namo Karanaya Namo Narayanaya Namo Narayanaya Namo Om Namo 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 Om Namo Namo Om Namo 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 Om Namo 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 Om Namo Narayanaya 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 Om Humble prostrations to one and all present here. If we ask this question, what is the purpose of life? So our scriptures say, the purpose of life is to know myself as I am. What is my true nature? My true nature is Sat, Chit and Anand. Infinite existence is my true nature. Infinite consciousness is my true nature. Infinite bliss is my true nature. Perfection is my true nature. To know myself as I am is the purpose of life. So what is life? Life is a journey. We are all, knowingly or unknowingly, we are traveling. We are traveling towards a particular destination. Asato ma Satgamaya. We are traveling from Asat to Sat, from unreal to real. Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya. We are traveling from Tamas to Jyoti, from darkness to light. Mrityorma Amritamgamaya. We are traveling from Mrityu to Amritam, from mortality to immortality. We are traveling from ignorance to light, ignorance to knowledge. We are traveling from imperfection to perfection. We are traveling from finitude to infinity. So we are all travelers. And we have been traveling in many, many births. This is one among many births. And this traveling will continue till we reach the destination. Reaching the destination is what is called as liberation, moksha, etc. So in this regard, there is a beautiful metaphor in Kathopanishad. So this traveling is compared with the traveling in a chariot. Atmanam rathinam vidhi shariram rathamevatu buddhim tu sarathim vidhi manah pragrahamevacha indriyani hayanaho vishayansteshu gocharan atmendriyamano bhoktetyahurmanishinaha. A very famous metaphor found in Kathopanishad. So what is being said? Atmanam rathinam vidhi. So we are all traveling in a chariot. So we are the rathi. Rathi means the owner of the chariot. Shariram rathamevatu. So what is this chariot? This chariot is this physical body. Shariram, ratham. Buddhim tu sarathim vedhi. So in a chariot you have this charioteer. Who is this charioteer? Buddhi, intellect. Manah pragrahamevacha. Pragraham, the reins. The ropes which are connected to these horses. What are those reins? Manaha, mind. Indriyani hayanahu. Horses. What are these horses? Our sense organs are the horses. Now if the horses have to run, they have to run on a path. So what are those paths? Vishayansteshu gochara. They are the sense objects. So in this way, we are all traveling in a chariot. So naturally when we travel, there has to be a destination. There has to be a source, there has to be a destination. So what is the destination? What are we seeking in life? We are seeking happiness, peace, security, fulfillment. That ultimate state is what is called our destination. Knowingly or unknowingly, every one of us, we are seeking that alone. Not just human beings. Animals, plants, insects, birds, they are all craving for the same state, which is absolutely secure, absolutely blissful. So now, in this journey, who has the most important role? So there is a chariot, charioteer, reins, horses, path. Which has the most important role? If the chariot has to successfully, easily, effortlessly reach the destination, which aspect or which entity in this metaphor is the most important? Huh? Charioteer. The charioteer must know the destination. The charioteer must know how to handle the horses. The charioteer must know the route, isn't it? And what is the strength of this charioteer? His knowledge. And who is this charioteer? Our intellect. So in this journey called life, what is the most important entity in us? Our intellect, not just some intellect, well-educated intellect. The intellect which is very clear about the path, very clear about the purpose of life. Why am I living? Is there any purpose in living? That clarity should be there. Then what happens when there is clarity? Every situation is beautifully handled in such a way that we reach our destination fast. So now, how to educate that intellect? Will physics, chemistry, maths do? To solve the puzzle of life, worldly education will not do. We must have scriptural education. That is the purpose of all our study classes. We study the Upanishads, we study Bhagavad Gita, we study the scriptures. And what is scripture? Scripture is nothing but the manual of right living. Somebody has to guide us. Because this world is so complicated. The body is complicated, the mind is complicated, intellect is complicated, world is complicated, everything is complicated. So in such a complicated world, if I have to use my complicated body, mind, intellect, some guidance is necessary. So who has to guide? The creator of the world has to guide us. The creator of living beings have to guide us. And therefore the scriptures have come from the Lord Himself. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So in this Guru Parampara, that source of knowledge is Bhagavan Himself. Now, in this chariot example, if you see, whom does the reins follow? If this question is asked, what will be your answer? The reins, whom does it follow?
Horses.
The answer is, it depends. If the charioteer is a useless fellow, inefficient fellow, then the reins will follow the wild horses. But if the charioteer is efficient, then the reins will follow the charioteer. You see, reins means mind. So a person who has no knowledge at all about life, when such a person is traveling in his chariot, the sense organs will be wild. They are the slaves of sense objects. So the wild horses will run everywhere. Avijnana sarathi, yes, it is said. Yastva vijnanavan bhavati ayuktena manasa sada nasatat padamapnoti samsaram chadhigacchati. So now, here is a person who has absolutely no idea about life. So what will happen in his case? The wild horses will run, and when the wild horses are running, the reins have to follow the horses, and the charioteer has to follow the reins and the horses. Is it called driving the chariot? No, it is called being driven by the chariot. You are not deciding the destination. Whatever the horses decide, that becomes your destination. Dangerous traveling. You have no control over the steering wheel. You are just running. Or like a person sitting on a horse, wild horse, reins are not there. He is just strapped onto that horse, wild horse. What will happen to him? His life will be miserable. Whereas a person who is efficient, with right knowledge about life, right understanding about life, he knows how to deal with every situation. Life is full of challenges, full of problems, everything comes. He has very clear understanding of how to handle it. In such a case, what happens? Like a perfect charioteer, reins are under his control, reins decide the horses, and the horses are well controlled. In such a case, what happens? That person effortlessly reaches the goal, reaches the destination without any danger. This is the importance of study of the scriptures. So in a person who has studied the scripture, what is that special thing that we see in such a person? In him, everything is integrated. He has an integrated personality. What is the definition of integrated personality? The definition is the lower readily comes under the control of the higher. This is a sign that personality is integrated. The lower readily comes under the control of the higher. The lower must obey the higher. Then everything is fine with you. Indriyani paranyaho Indriyebhyah param manah Manasastu para buddhi Yo buddhe paratastu saha. So what is the lowest? The sense organs are the lowest. Higher than the sense organs comes mind. Higher than the mind comes the intellect. And higher than intellect comes He, the Supreme Self, the pure consciousness, the Lord. So, sense organ must come readily under the discipline of the mind. The mind must come readily under the control of the intellect. The intellect must be in tune with that Supreme Lord, the pure consciousness, the ultimate truth. If this is happening in your life, everything is perfect. There is peace. What is the difference between mind and intellect? Mind is a faculty in me which takes decisions based on likes and dislikes. Intellect is the faculty in me which takes decision based on what is right and what is wrong. So the mind says, I like it, let us do it. I don't like it, let us not do it. This is what mind does. What does the intellect say? This is right, let us do it. This is wrong, let us not do it. So whom should we listen to? Mind or intellect? Intellect. Something may be there which I like, but it may not be right. Something is there which I don't like, but that is the right thing. So in such situations, how easily you are able to take decision and how easily you are able to follow your decision, that shows how much integrated your personality is. There is something right, even though I don't like it, I am able to do it. If such a thing happens, congratulations. But generally what happens to us? something is right, I don't like doing it, and the mind is so strong, it forces me to do the wrong thing. And that is called as personality disintegration. Such a person can never have peace of mind. You see, there is a tug of war. I know something is right, but I don't have the courage to do it. I don't have the strength to do it. I yield to temptations. I compromise with the higher values of life. When such things happen in our life, such a person can never progress in life. He devolves. He doesn't evolve, he devolves, falls down. So life is a constant struggle. And this struggle, the more and more you support your intellect, the intellect becomes stronger and stronger. This is the law. Whomever you support, mind or intellect, that becomes stronger. But if suppose you follow your mind, meaning life is based on likes and dislikes, then you start becoming weaker and weaker. Intellect becomes weaker and weaker. Right. So therefore the Upanishad says, may you gain that integrity in your personality by making your intellect strong, by doing what is right. And then the progress towards the ultimate goal becomes very fast. So this way I can go on talking and talking. So therefore I stop now and allow you to ask questions if at all you have any questions. Right, I do.
Questions. There you go. Hold it at the top.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Ah.
So, but when we study in self-unfoldment, they say that you have to identify with the Atman and not like everything is a sheet. Identifying with the body or the mind or the intellect is not advised. So even the intellect is a sheet, right? So as per your thing, we have to listen to the intellect. How do we know to trust the intellectual identity?
See, in the beginning, start doing what is right. In the beginning. You may not be knowing what God wants and all that. That's a far away thing. Always you will find that in the process of doing what is right, not doing what you like, but what is right, there is a tapas involved. Tapas means austerity. It's an austerity. It's a great austerity. Austerity is not standing on one leg looking at sun with raised hands and all that. It is not real austerity. Real austerity is whatever I am convinced that this is right, I just do it. It will have a lot of pain, suffering, struggle, fine. It doesn't matter. Let me try to live what I have understood it as right. In this process, what happens is tremendous amount of struggle happens. Because our vasanas are there trying to pull us down. Our likes and dislikes, raga dvesha, it will try to pull us down. You are fighting against that raga dvesha. And in this fight, what happens is you start becoming stronger and stronger. The intellect starts becoming brighter and brighter. In every struggle, you grow. And a time comes when that bright intellect is able to intuitively experience the presence of God or Atman. That intellect becomes tuned to it. After that, there is no problem. Right? So this struggle is essential. So in the beginning, though you may not be able to, abide in Atman, see Atman, self and all, no problem. At least in the present moment, am I doing what I am convinced as right? That is enough. Clear? Yes.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Ah.
Thank you for your comment. My first question is that when you talk about God or one, you talk about in a sense of intentionality, and that's confusing.
A sense of
intentionality.
Intentionality.
Meaning like that he has, right, he's omnipowerful, omnipotent, omniscient, that he has a sense of doing A, B, and C, D things with intention. And I have a hard time reconciling that with the idea of this ever-present offer.
You struggle with what? In believing a God.
No, not in believing in God. I don't struggle with believing in a source of infiniteness, right? What I struggle with is that source also has some moral kind of
Yes.
fabric around it.
Yes. See, in Bhagavad Gita itself, Bhagavan says, Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. Are you aware of it? Okay. See, God is an embodiment of goodness. There is something good, there is something bad. That you agree? Right. So, God is an embodiment of goodness. That itself means what? He likes what is good. He likes virtues. Very clearly, all the scriptures, they unanimously say this. Be humble, be grateful, be forgiving. Now all these are called as Devi Sampat in our scriptures. It's a divine wealth. And there is something called Asuri Sampat also. Demonic wealth, anger, greed, jealousy. These are all negative traits. And very clearly, all scriptures, unanimously, they say, a person who develops noble virtues, he progresses towards God. Such a mind becomes a pure mind. And in such a pure mind, you start experiencing the presence of the divine. Divinity is there in everybody's heart, but not everyone can experience His presence. To experience His presence, you need a pure heart. So the example given is like the sunlight. Sunlight is everywhere. It is falling on a piece of mirror also. It is falling on a piece of stone also. But on the piece of stone, you are not able to see the sun. But on a piece of mirror, you are able to see the sun. What is the difference? It is not the sunlight. Sunlight is there in both. But one has a polished surface, so therefore you are able to see it. The other one doesn't have a polished surface, so you are not able to. So in the same way, our mind, in our heart, God is there. But if you want to feel His presence, His guidance, His love, all those virtues, you will have to have a pure mind. What is the definition of a pure mind? A pure mind is the one which effortlessly entertains all noble thoughts. Love, humility, gratitude, forgiveness. So when you live a divine life, loving everyone, helping everyone, serving everyone, such a mind becomes a pure mind. And in such a pure mind, you experience His presence. Did I answer?
Yes.
More questions? She's over there. Can you just pass it to her, please?
Having on Swami, so I'm curious about the idea of doing what is right and reconciling that with, we've been reading Bhaja Govindam, and they, in the latest chapters, they're talking about people who are ascetics, who have all of the trappings of doing what is right and focusing on serving others, and yet internally they do not have a pure mind. And
They do not have
a pure mind, or they're doing it for the wrong reasons. So they
ascetics who are doing austerity but still not having a pure mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering about, how is it that when you reach for what is right, how do you avoid letting your ego get in the way, or thinking that you are superior to others, or those things that seem to happen to some people who are trying to do what's right and sacrificing, and yet still falling short of the goal.
So the basic question is how to become humble. Correct?
How to stay humble.
How to stay humble. You were there, Amma, yesterday day for the talks? No. Okay. See, the world is designed to make us humble. You have to just pay attention to the realities of life. What is the reality of life? If you just pay attention, you will find that there are infinite factors in this world which are responsible for keeping us alive. Yes or no? You need food, clothing, shelter. If you just start thinking of all this, right temperature, right distance between sun and earth, right speed of rotation, how many factors? Right combination of gases in the air. So you'll find that there are infinite factors which have to come together in order to keep us alive. This is externally, internally also there are so many organs which are functioning and we don't know how they are functioning. So when you pay attention, you find there are infinite factors. Outside there are infinite factors inside. And how many factors are in our control? Not even one. So therefore, what is the conclusion? Life is not mine, it is a gift given by God. Right? And when we start observing our talents and abilities, actually we don't know anything. How the brain functions, I don't know. How the ears function, I don't know. How the eyes function, I don't know. How the digestion happens, I don't know. What is happening when I am breathing in and out, I don't know. So in short, what is the reality of life when you start paying attention? The 4 Mahavakyas. I am nothing, I know nothing, I have nothing, I can do nothing. Any doubt? Any doubt? Huh? I am nothing, I know nothing, I have nothing, I can do nothing. Any doubt? So now, whatever you have achieved in your life, to what percentage credit you can take for it? 50%? Tan padi devam padi. 50% me, 50% God says. If you start paying attention, how much 50%? You will come to know that there is not even 1%. But say, no, Swamiji, I struggled hard, worked hard. At least 1%? No. Because in order to work hard also there is an inspiration needed and you don't know how that inspiration has come. The most difficult thing is not working hard. The most difficult thing is to create that inspiration. And how that inspiration has come, I don't know. So therefore, when you start paying attention, you come to know 0% credit for every achievement that I have. So many things came together, so many factors, and therefore suddenly I became successful. How those factors came, I don't know. So therefore, the fact of life is, for my achievement, I am not responsible at all. It's a heavy statement. You have to think deep. But suppose deep down you say, no, I am only responsible. That is called as ego. You understand? So therefore, what we have to do is only one thing. Throughout our life, whenever the ego raises its hood to take credit for all success, give a beating. Puncture the ego. Deflate the ego. Because in your life, the biggest problem is your ego. Your greatest enemy is not somebody outside. It is your own bloated, illusory entity called ego. In all the spiritual path, whether it is bhakti yoga, whether it is jnana yoga, karma yoga, what are we trying to do? We are trying to efface this ego. And that's why Ramana Maharshi says, Ahamapetakam nijavibhanakam mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam. Ramana Maharshi says the greatest tapas is this, to efface one's own ego. Thus, if you can do this, this is the greatest tapas. Because the one entity which is polluting my life, creating all problems in my life, is this ego. Vidhi vyadhi abhimanagrastam lokam shokahatam chasamastam. Bhaja Govinda. Lokam shokahatam. The world is full of sorrow. What is the source of sorrow? Abhimana grasta. Abhimana. All the mental problems, psychological problems. If you see the root, it is nothing but this ego. So therefore, God out of infinite compassion has created the world in such a way that we can easily drop the ego. But we are experts. Even in such a world, we have our big bloated ego. This is called a self-enquiry, Enquire. And you will find that this ego is actually a non-existent entity. It doesn't even exist. It's a shadow. And that shadow is creating all kinds of fear in us, problems in us. Did I answer? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Swamiji, are you can you
I think so.
just
You,
Should be on.
okay. Swamiji, just a couple of things. As you were talking, just want to clarify some stuff. Like going by that analogy about the chariot, about the charioteer
yes.
being intelligence. The bit that slightly confused me was how can intelligence be so central to everything? The reason I say that is because when I look around, just in terms of how people progress and how things work, like intelligence measured, let's say by IQ, right, based on or whatever you kind of focus on. There are so many other aspects to the world and life to be aware of and to be sensitive towards, right? So you've got having that emotional intelligence, the empathy, having taking people along the journey, right, and being careful. And I think where I was a little confused there was you sometimes you don't know the path. You actually you don't know the destination. But I feel like you need to be agile enough to be adaptive to what may come your way, because there'll always be challenges that will come to you at every stage. So the whole system to work properly is actually more effective, is how I thought about it, right? Like you need the chariot, you need the charioteer, you need the horses, you need the wheels, because it's not, yes, you do need a direction, but I don't know, I feel something was not right there for me in that understanding. The other point which I wanted to just dwelled on a little bit, was just what you just said now, which was, I'm nothing, I can do nothing. But the bit I didn't understand was where you said, I can't do anything, or in some context, right? The reason I got confused there is because if I look at all the great people, and the reality is, you can do things, right? So I just almost refute that.
The mic has gone. I think the battery is weak.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
There's another one out there. I'll take that.
so. If I just take that statement of I can't do anything, like if I
Yes.
just look at like people who have done great things for society, like whoever they are, like Bhagwanji, yourself, for example, you're an inspiration. People make a difference to other people's lives. So I don't think that's ego, but it's about you do enable others, right, to be successful and to find the right thing. And I think people can do that. So to say I can't do anything, and even just humankind, the successes we've had as a society, as people, I'm confused why we think that way, right?
Yes.
So if you could elaborate.
Okay, so the first question, there are two questions. Number one, how is intellect the most important entity? Correct? You see, the most important thing in life is your understanding about life. Because everything in life is decided by your understanding. So when I am talking of intellect, I am talking of understanding. For example, suppose a person observes life and then he finds that poor people are suffering, rich people are enjoying life, they are the ones who are getting the best. And he comes to this philosophy, money is happiness. Okay. Once he has this understanding, now you can predict his desire, you can predict his action, you can predict how he is going to spend his time, how he is going to spend his life. Because everything in your life is decided by your understanding about life. So that's why there's a famous quote, beware of your thoughts, because they become your words. Beware of your words, because they become your actions. Beware of your actions, because they become your habits. Beware of your habits, because they become your character. Beware of your character, because they ultimately decide your destiny. So in this code, everything starts with thoughts. But what is that which decides thoughts? It is your understanding about life. So if suppose, for example, my understanding about life is rich people are happy, poor people are suffering, therefore the solution to all my problem is being rich. So therefore, what kind of life will I lead? By hook or crook, I will try to earn money. Yes or no? You see, how I am spending my time, what kind of personality I develop, how I am interacting with the world, everything is going to determine based on this understanding. So therefore, the scriptures say,
But this is the point, right? Like, our understanding will constantly change because of time. What the understanding I had 2 hours ago to now has changed. Therefore, you have to be agile and adaptive.
you are right. What I am trying to say is the repercussion of having wrong understanding. You are messing up your entire life because you don't have the right understanding. So what is the most important thing? Developing right understanding. Where do you get it? From the scriptures. You have to, you can't keep on experimenting with so many things and waste your life. From the right source, you must have the right understanding. And once you get the right understanding, everything falls in place. When your thoughts are right, your words, your action, your deeds, your desires, everything falls in place. So therefore, what is the most important thing? Right understanding about life. This is what I am trying to say. Why understanding is the most important, that's what I am trying to say. Did I answer?
Yeah. I have some follow-ups, but
Oh, of course, you ask. No, I am not going to leave you.
no.
Understanding is the most important thing. Now, terrorists are creating all problems in this world. Being suicide bombers, etc. Where is the problem? The problem is in understanding. According to them, if I kill people of other faith or religion, etc., then I will go to Swarga.
So I agree with the understanding.
Yes.
The bit I'm challenging a little bit is scriptures. And the reason I'm challenging that is because through Vedanta and whatever we learn, it's all about experiencing it, realizing it ourselves, right? So unfolding ourselves, right? Where I'm trying to get to it is, I totally agree, you need to have the right understanding. But it's like when you're studying engineering or whatever degree, right? You can't just read a book and understand. You have to experience it, you have to know it, and you have to adapt to it. So in the same way, when you read a scripture, it's written in some context. And understanding that context will never happen the same way, right? So what I mean is that when you read the scripture, Swami, you'll understand it in a much stronger, better way in Sanskrit than I would. So my understanding will always lack in some way, but for me to search that understanding, I have to do that through experiences, not necessarily by reading.
That is true. That is called a sadhana.
Right.
So you are not anyway, criticizing that understanding part. The more you understand, the better your life will be. And that process of understanding takes time. Accept it. But we have no choice but to have that right understanding. How fast you are understanding, how clear, that's a different matter. But understanding is the most important thing. The more and more you understand scriptures better, the more and more will be your experience, the more and more will be your peace, and that peace itself becomes an inspiration to study scriptures further, deeper, go deeper, because you will always find that the clearer your understanding, the better your life will be. There is more peace, there is more fulfillment, and that itself is a proof that you are leading your life in the right way.
Sure, but this is also a little confusing to me because I'm sorry, I don't want to carry too much in this scenario, right? But if you just look at data in analytics, like right now in the world, we have more and more data, we're understanding more and more about the world, right? In the same way, what was available there from an understanding point of view, right? When the scriptures were written, is that really the source of truth? Or can there be more that we now understand
Correct.
that we didn't understand at that time.
Correct.
Right? So shouldn't it be infinite amount of understanding? Like understanding is contextual as well. So therefore, today what I understand, just like in this example, what I understood an hour ago is different to what I understand now.
Yes.
In that same sense, whatever we understand right now, you can go on your path to understand. Everyone's on a different path, but nobody really understands. Perhaps they do, right? And perhaps they don't. Like,
See,
it's all
this
subjective.
this is true with the worldly understanding. We are talking of spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is something like waking up from a dream. You see, the moment you wake up from the dream, what happens to the dream world? Everything becomes an illusion. Only the observer of the dream remains. Do you accept this?
Yeah.
Is there something else left to know after waking up? You cannot say, I have woken up, but there is something else to know about dream world. No! It is perfect understanding. You cannot say that, no, there is something else also left in the dream world to know. Matter is over there. The moment you wake up, the moment you have known yourself, the dream world has become an illusion. Now you know there is only one reality, and that is me. There,
Swamiji,
the
we don't know
knowing
what happened.
ends.
But we don't know what happened in the dream. So
Huh?
when you wake up,
What's
when
that?
you wake up,
Huh.
we don't know what has happened in the dream. So to even say, I don't know, I mean, the reality is you just don't know. When we were in deep sleep, we were in deep sleep.
See, when you wake up, after waking up, what is your understanding about the dream world?
You don't know what just happened the last few
You
hours.
are very clear that it's an illusion. It never was there. You experienced it, but now it's very clear to you that dream world was never there. The only reality was, I alone am. That is called as waking up. If you have truly woken up, if you are still dreaming, then that's a different matter. If you have truly woken up, you are very clear of the truth. There is nothing more to know.
So Swamiji, I'm going to challenge us here, another point, right? So for example, when we look at the world, we look at it through our senses, right? What I see of the world with my eyes is different to what an owl sees, right? Because they're a nocturnal animal. So therefore, my understanding of what the world is based on my senses.
See, that is true in the dream also, isn't it? In the dream also you are seeing with your eyes. You are hearing with your ears. In the dream also there is a physical body. You have so many people around. The same thing what you are seeing in the waking, you are having in the dream also. There is a brain, you are thinking, you are doubting. There are likes, there are dislikes, there are actions, there are interactions, everything is there. But the moment you wake up, what happens? Everything becomes an illusion. That entity who is experiencing, that itself goes away. The dreamer goes.
But it's left an impression on you. Like
So-
most of us will wake up.
After waking up, what happens? Do you still worry? How will I feed my child? How will I feed my wife? You don't.
But sometimes you go to sleep thinking about a problem.
After waking up, do you worry about a dream? You don't. Because the whole world has become an illusion. That palpitation will remain, but after that it will go away also. I am not talking of that. I am saying once you have woken up, will you worry about the dream problem?
I think you would, maybe, perhaps. My argument,
Really?
my argument is when
That means you have not woken up then.
No, but Swamiji, before you sleep, right? The person you are before you sleep and the person you are when you wake up are not the same.
They are the same. The dream is not going to add anything to you, take away anything from you.
I'll explain why they're not the same, right? My argument, right? Which is that physically we have changed, we've rested, so our cells
See,
are
you are not getting the point. When I am taking an example, you have to just take that aspect. What I am trying to say is the moment you know yourself, all puzzles of life they are solved. When you wake up, there were a lot of problems which you were struggling in the dream. What happens to all those problems? Everything goes away because you have known who you are. And the moment you have known who you are, your understanding with the world, everything becomes very clear. That is the importance of understanding. So waking up is nothing but a clear understanding about yourself. You come to know, I am not that dreamer, I am this waker. The moment you know yourself, all problems are solved. Please try to understand that. This is what the scriptures are trying to say. Know yourself and all your problems are over.
What about the second question?
There is a second question. So what was it?
That was, sorry Swamiji, but that was the bit about, you know how you said,
I can't do anything. That one. You see, you said that there are so many people doing great things. Again, go deeper into it. To do anything, body has to be alive. Who is keeping the body alive? I am not. To do anything, you need inspiration. Who is creating the inspiration? I am not. To do anything, you need resources. Who has brought about all those resources? Not me. To do anything, you must have ideas. How the ideas are coming from the mind? Not me. Just pay attention to every detail and you will find that you are not doing anything. Things are just happening through you. Tell me one thing which you do. You cannot. Tell me one thing.
Quick point here, Swamiji. There is
Okay.
so much I can decide not to do, right? So doing it isn't that my action? Like I can decide not to come here, but coming here is my action, right? So isn't that what I'm doing?
See, I will answer it in a different way. There is this question they ask, if everything is done by God, then the crimes done by the criminal also is done by God. You see, when I have to do something good, the inspiration automatically comes. But when I am going to do a crime, there is a voice from within which says, don't do it. The voice of conscience. But in spite of that, I do it. Then that cannot be called as God's work. It is my work. Because I have disobeyed His voice and I have done it. There is something from within, the voice of God which is saying, don't do it. But still out of my habit, out of my vasanas, out of my compulsion, my addiction, I do something wrong, then that action becomes mine, not His. But in a pure mind, when the inspiration comes to do something good, that inspiration is coming from Him. Then I cannot take the credit for that good work. Got it? Yeah.
Hariom Swamiji. So in life, as we talk about, us being charitators, we see ups and
Louder.
we see ups and downs in life,
Ah.
right? When we have our ups, it's easy to say, God is with me and things are happening well. When things don't go your way, then you tend to question your faith. You question why did it happen to that person or why me? So what tips can you give us to, keep the faith?
See, what happens is, as you progress in the path of spirituality, you know one thing, God is not only your wish fulfiller, He is also your well-wisher. So sometimes, as I said to these children, sometimes you are praying something, the answer is no. He will not give you what you want. And later on, He will also show it to you why He did not give what you are asking. A time will come when you say, thank God you did not give me what I was asking for. He will show that to you. The more and more your relation becomes, the more and more you understand who God is, what my relationship with God is, the more and more you understand His infinite love for you, His unconditional love for you, then there comes a natural acceptance, cheerful acceptance of such choiceless situations. This is a cheerful acceptance. For that you need tremendous amount of devotion. That relationship should really grow. It is like the child, which says that my mother can never think bad of me. You see, even an ordinary child has that faith, then what to talk of divine mother, divine father? So what I'm trying to say is, the more and more your relationship becomes strong, a time comes when mind just accepts everything. Because that a perfect God is taking care of me, He cannot make a mistake. With my little intellect, yes, I am questioning, grumbling, etc. But that Lord with infinite intelligence, who knows everything about me from the beginningless past, I don't know anything about me, but there is some entity in me who knows everything about me, and he is deciding my future, my everything. So there is a cheerful acceptance, unconditional acceptance. For that, you have to grow in your faith, your devotion, etc. Yeah.
I was really struck by the conversation on ego, where you said those 4 things to keep in mind to remind you, kind of bring humility. And I really appreciated that. I was also thinking, if I take it too literally, it could lead to inaction.
Correct.
So, and I don't think that's Vedanta you are suggesting.
Correct.
So, what are some tips or guiding principles to keep in mind to
see what happens is, if you are truly humble, what happens is you are making way for that infinite source to take over. So it's impossible that you are absolutely humble and then there is no, you are totally inactive. No, it doesn't happen. There's a beautiful quote by Gurudev. To the extent that ego vanishes, the Lord enters. To the extent the ego enters, the Lord vanishes. So in your heart, there is only place for one person. Either ego or Lord. So if you have installed ego, then God is far away. But suppose through humility, oh Lord, please guide me what I am supposed to do. With total humility when you pray, suddenly some intuitive inspiration comes. A guidance comes from within. Do this. And the inspiration is so strong that you just cannot stop yourself. You understand? The inspiration smoothly flows, effortlessly flows, and once the inspiration comes, rest everything just follows. See, the most difficult thing is inspiration.
So you're saying that turn the ego into an inspiration and that will help you?
Turn the ego into nothing. Puncture the ego. Oh Lord, I am a nobody. But in life I am totally confused. Please guide me. So in that sincere prayer, when you are trying to tune to God, remember, to the extent ego has gone, to that extent mind is peaceful. To the extent mind is peaceful, to that extent you are tuned to the infinite source. And to that extent you are tuned to Him, you intuitively know what you are supposed to do. You know it. Just like how fish know how to swim. Just like monkeys know how to jump from one branch to another. Just like how earthworm know how to remain alive under earth. See, everybody knows what to do. Who has taught? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So therefore that knowledge is always flowing. There is constant guidance coming from within. But our mind is, so much of chattering is going on in the mind. We are so much extroverted and listening to the external noise that we are not able to listen to this inner voice, which is constantly guiding us. So the moment you have punctured your ego, all the noise subsides. All noise is created by the ego only. Mind becomes silent. In that silent mind, you are able to listen to that guidance. And that guidance is perfect. What is good for you, that inner voice will start guiding you. You have to just listen to that voice. Everything will be absolutely perfect with you then. Everybody is guided. Every one of us is guided because we are all children of God. It is His responsibility to guide us. But we are not able to listen to that guidance because of this ego. And that's the whole, symbolic representation of Krishna driving the chariot. You see, the chariot metaphor, who is the charioteer of Arjuna? Krishna. You see, when Bhagavan is guiding you, you have no problem at all. Whatever is needed, it will come to you. Whether it is strength, whether it is guidance, whether it is peace, whether it is inspiration, whether it is resources, everything just keeps coming. And you have to just follow that inspiration which is coming from within. Your life will be absolutely peaceful. There is an instruction given to Arjuna. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Arjuna, just be my instrument. Rest everything, you will do it.
Hello, Swami.
Yes.
My question is about, can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now?
No. You see the mic has to go.
You need
See, I can hear, but
keep it really close to your mouth. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
My question is about dharma.
Dharma.
Yes. And I've thought a lot about it, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Reading the book Self-Unfoldment, and we've discussed it in our classes. Dharma is about, being focused on yourself and the path that you choose. Understand the body, mind, intellect, vasanas. And I've just been trying to understand if there's a boundary only focused on yourself. Because as people living in this world, we interact with family, friends, colleagues, everybody around us. So where is the boundary of dharma where I'm practicing my own actions, I'm, exhausting my vasanas? So that's my question, that is dharma only applicable to me?
Is dharma only applicable to me?
As I practice it, should I only focus on my own actions, my own thoughts, my own vasanas?
Yes. You have to your only job is to listen to that voice and just do accordingly. You need not correct anyone. You need not try to transform others. No, that is not your job. Your job is only to pay attention. As they say, mind your own business. Yes. That's all you need to do. And amazingly what happens is, as you are listening to that voice and living, your life starts radiating a divine, Because when you are connected to God, you are totally different from the crowd. The way how beautifully you handle every situation, the amount of peace that you radiate, the inspiration. Others get inspired by that kind of personality from you.
So my follow-up would be, what about my children or my family, my...
As a mother, do what you are supposed to do. Listening to that voice. Whatever you are supposed to do, do it. But don't expect results. Don't insist. Very many times what happens is we are disconnected. Then our ego starts rolling. And the ego is always insistent. Then we shout at others, yell at others and create all kinds of things. I insist, you must do what I like. Then the relationships are strained. Everything becomes a problem.
So coming back to the intellect and the ego, Swamiji, what is one way to identify where our inspiration is coming from? If it is ego-driven or if it is driven by our...
Correct. See, whenever the mind is sattvic, understand guidance is coming from the divine. If the mind is rajasic or tamasic, don't trust that mind. That mind will cheat you.
So follow-up was how do we know the difference between the rajasic and the tamasic?
See, generally after prayer, after meditation, when the mind is peaceful, whatever that mind says, that is a voice of God. Whenever you are disturbed and agitated, that is rajasic mind. Never trust that mind. It will mislead you. So whenever you have to take important decisions in life, never take it when the mind is disturbed. Never take it when the mind is dull. These are the tamas and rajas. Extremely agitated, extroverted, disturbed. Never take important decisions. Always postpone it. Early morning, take a bath, sit in your prayer room, do some meditation. In that quiet state of mind, whatever the mind says, just wait.
Thank you.
Right.
Hariom Swami, thank you so much for taking the time to come here. Really appreciate it. As you said, God is omnipresent, omni powerful, omni knowledgeable. And like a radio, we can somehow get attuned to it.
Yes.
In everything that you said, the two things that caught my attention in terms of how in your journey you are attuned to the Supreme Lord, which I completely see you are. You said meditation is one of the ways, understanding of the scriptures is another of the way. Is there one way? Are there multiple ways? And how have you with all different dimensionalities, being able to find that tuning with God.
So what is the question? Is there one way or multiple way?
Is there one way? Is there multiple ways? If there are multiple ways in your experience, what have they
See,
been?
there is only one way, though the language may be different. The one way is connect to your own self. Self means a pure consciousness in you. That is God. Your own higher I. So there is a lower I, there is a higher I. So the lower I has to connect to that higher I. You may use different language, God, Jesus, Allah, whatever it may be. But the basic thing is this. There is a higher you in you. If you are connected to that higher you, everything is fine. If you are disconnected, then everything is misery.
The methods of connection is what?
Yes, you can meditate, you can do puja, you can do japa, they are all different ways. You choose the path which is suiting you. We don't say this is the only path. No, all paths are equally valid. You have to do trial and error. For some it is japa for some it is just sitting quietly. For some it is chanting some mantra. For some it is serving others, selfless service. Some it is bhajans. Some it is worship, ritualistic worship. Different people find that attunement through different ways. You will have to find your own way. When you are doing a particular sadhana, there is greater joy, greater fulfillment, greater peace. Then understand that that is your way. All paths may not be suitable to all, and you need not also. It is like climbing a mountain. There are so many ways. Some can go straight, some will have to go round and round. There are so many ways. But everyone is going towards the same peak. Everyone reaches the same peak. Finally, they all meet at the same place, isn't it? So you will have to find out which is the path which is suiting you.
What was your path?
My path is a mixture of so many paths.
Well, we would like to know on behalf of everyone else, what was that path?
I love meditation. Sometimes when meditation doesn't work, I love japa. Sometimes that also doesn't work, fine, then I love studying scriptures, listening to scriptures, seva. So it's a mixture of everything. There are times when I don't want to do it, just sit in silence. Sometimes that recharges me. So it is not one path, there are so many at different times, It's something like a warrior. He will have a knife also, he will have a gun also, he will have all kinds of things. So when what is going to be used, you don't know. Sometimes you need a bomb. You see, you are a spiritual warrior. Disturbance of mind is your enemy. So how to quieten that mind? Different ways you have to try. Sometimes some techniques may not work. Then you must have another technique. More intense technique. When you are really fresh, early in the morning, intense technique. Attack. Offense is the best defense. But there are times when your mind is dull. Then you can't do intense sadhana and all. Then do some mild sadhana, listening to talk and all that. You see? So different moods will demand different.
Thank you.
Right.
Swami.
Yes.
Is there,
Okay, yeah.
Is there a more effective time to engage in meditation? And
What is the right time?
should it be the same every day, or sometimes I'm all over the place?
It is better to create a habit. Because suppose early morning you have this habit of meditation. Then the moment time comes, the mind starts thinking, now it is a time for meditation. So if you create a habit in you, it is always good. So the same time, same place, etc. if you can. In the initial stages. Later on, you are able to do it anywhere. But for the beginners, it is always, we say, create a habit. Make a routine.
Thank you, Swami.
Swamiji, understanding, I think we spoke about that a little bit. He asked, I think it's a moving target. Right?
It's a moving target.
Because you understand, you want to understand something else, there's so much more to explore and understand.
Yes.
So it's a constantly moving target. Right?
Target is not moving, you are moving towards the target. Target is the same. You are moving, maybe proceeding nearer the target or going away from the target. Now that is possible.
True. Okay. In that relation, ego, I feel ego, my understanding of ego now, is what creates ideation and innovation. Right? If you dumb down ego or suppress ego or puncture ego, and everybody just follows the same virtue or path that I'm just gonna, follow along the journey and not worry about anything. So how do you create ideas or how do you innovate?
See,
how do we progress?
This is a misunderstanding in us that it is the ego which is the source of all innovation. It is not. You see, the greatest compositions like Ramayana, Mahabharata, they have come in the moments when that individual has been totally been attuned with that infinite. To the extent you efface yourself, to that extent you are allowing the divine to function through you. There are very many great musicians who say that, I just allow that power to take over. And then what happens? I am not there. I have stepped aside. And the divine takes over. And wonderful music comes. Now, all those great musicians say that actually it is not mine. Some power was working through me. If you see all these compositions like Ramayana, Mahabharata and Bhagavatam, etc., you will find all these rishis, even the Vedic mantras, they are called as revelations. They don't take any, credit for those mantras. Rishaya tu mantra drashtaraha, they say. They are the seers of mantras. No rishi will say that I composed mantra. No, they are the seers. Seers means what? Something was there. It was just revealed to me. Why it was revealed to me? Because the ego was not there and it just got revealed. You will always find that the best comes out of you when the ego steps aside. In all fields, to the extent you can become a nobody, divine takes charge of you. And once the infinite divine takes charge of you, you will be amazed what comes out of you. To the extent ego is taking care, there is worry, anxiety, tension, oh my God, it's hell. It's hell. Because the ego is always limited. What innovation can this ego do? I don't know whether you have studied this, electronics. The invention of transistor, which was the greatest invention of the century, invention of transistor, it was an accident. You know that. That scientist was trying to do something else happened by mistake, and there was a deflection in current. It is not only in this, there are so many such things. Things happened accidentally. He was trying out something else. Something else happened. I hope you're able to understand what I'm trying to say. Try this. For some time, step aside from yourself and see how the divine functions. You will be amazed.
Hello, Swamiji, can you hear me? My question is around spiritual progress. How do you understand if you are progressing, and how do you prevent yourself from not being discouraged when you fall down?
What is the question?
How do you measure spiritual progress?
How do you measure spiritual progress?
Right, and how do you keep yourself from being discouraged if you fall off the ladder, so to speak?
So first question is, how do you measure spiritual progress? So yesterday, day before I was studying, there is something called FIR test. You know what is FIR test? F means frequency. I means intensity. R means recovery time. So F is frequency. How frequency you are disturbed. That is F. I means how intensely you are disturbed. R means how quickly you recover. So as you progress in spirituality, you will find the frequency of disturbance comes down. The intensity of disturbance also comes down. And the recovery time also comes down. So your FIR starts decreasing. You understand? You become more and more peaceful person. A cheerful person. So somebody has beautifully defined how quickly you go from what to so what. That's what happens in spirituality. How quickly you move. What? So what? Quick. This is what spirituality does. You are able to cheerfully accept everything. The ups and downs of life don't disturb you. This is how Bhagavad Gita defines a sannyasi. Neyasya nitya sannyasi yona dveshtina kamshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Know him to be a true sannyasi. Yona dveshtina kamshati. Nirdvandvaha is the term used. Life is full of dvandva, pairs of opposites. Joy, sorrow, honor, dishonor, praise, criticism, heat, cold. This is life. So amidst all these ups and downs, how balanced you are. Samatvam yoga uchyate. The equanimity of mind is called yoga. How balanced you are. So this is how you measure your spiritual progress. So 5, 10 years you are in spirituality, and when you look back, how I was complaining, grumbling, disturbed, tensed, worried, anxious, and today I am a peaceful being. Yes, you have progressed. This is the first question. What's the second question?
Just how do you not get discouraged if you fall off?
If you fall off again, dust your back and get up and walk. See, we have to understand one thing. Unless you commit mistake, how will you correct yourself? So in life, we all commit mistake, we all fall umpteen number of times. We learn our lesson and proceed. This is life. It's not that from the time you came out of the womb, you are doing only right. No such thing that. Everybody has to fall. Just like how you learn walking. How many times you have to fall? Isn't it? So fall is a unavoidable thing in life, in spirituality also. In every fall you learn. And when you learn, you become more mature. So, the whole cycle is this. You have certain understanding, you perform action based on that understanding. And if that action is wrong, you suffer. When you suffer, you introspect. Through introspection, then you correct your knowledge. With the corrected knowledge, again you live your life. You see? If you are doing something wrong, again there is suffering. Suffering makes you introspect. Introspection makes you correct your knowledge. So this is the cycle. And a time comes when your knowledge becomes perfect and there are no more mistakes. So it is absolutely natural.
Swami, this is more of a, not a question, but to answer, talking about ego and ideation. We live in a highly technological world, right? Science, rules. And I've always had such questions too, but this writer by the name Cormac McCarthy. So I came across an article. This article was on, there's a chemist by the name Kekule. So he invented the benzene ring. Right? So he was trying to find out how do I, put these carbon atoms 6 or 8 or whatever the number is. He dreamt of a snake like eating its tail or something, right? So Cormac McCarthy also is part of the there's an institute in Santa Fe, it's called Santa Fe Institute. It's a group of really smart physicists and mathematicians who work there. So he wrote an article, right? And he talks to all these scientists and mathematicians. And his conclusion was, people really don't solve problems, right? So it's not, there's an inspiration that comes to them, and then later on they put things together, right? So to give another example, there's a famous Indian mathematician. His name was A.K. Ramanujan, right?
Ramanujan, yes.
Famous one. So he, like his mentor Hardy, always wanted proofs and a systematic way to solve problems. But
he would just get the answer right away. He's like, I don't care. I mean, my goddess puts these answers in there. So it's not so straightforward.
Yes, yes, very true, very true.
But I mean, Cormac McCarthy is an atheist, but you know, he thinks there's some other mechanism going on. It's not us.
We have time for a few questions. No? Press.
Okay.
Not okay.
Yeah, this one's live.
Okay, Swamiji, I just had another question about virtues and then how virtues are understood in Hinduism. There's one way you talked about God being good and, you know, the concept of bad action. But then there's also this idea of the mean between two things, two extremes, right? Finding balance. So I'm just curious how you understand whether virtues are about balance between two things or whether they're about, you know, good versus bad. Does that make sense?
There is no balance between good and bad. Good is good and bad is bad. Then balance is called compromise. Okay, there is no in-between thing. So
good is like the higher ideal,
Of
and then
course.
the traits are, you need to find balance.
good is good. You have to be good. And good is that which is good for everyone. Not only for you, it is good for everyone. What is good for all is good. And whenever you do good, there is peace of mind. There is a sense of fulfillment. That is how God rewards us when we are on the path of good. And whenever I do bad, there is a guilt. So anything which creates guilt, know for sure that you are doing something wrong. Anything which gives peace of mind, fulfillment, that is the right thing.
Okay, so one other question. Sometimes it's really hard to do the right thing.
Correct.
There's no, any way you do it, something bad will happen.
Yes.
So how do you think about situations like that?
So
Most
then,
people call
what you understand at that time as good, as right, just do it. Later on you may find that it is the wrong thing. But at that time you felt that was the right thing. No problem, just keep doing it. In fact, as you keep on evolving, your definition of good becomes finer and finer. So once upon a time you thought something was good. Now in your more evolved state, you come to know that that was not good. It was a bad. Indrawn, more in tune with God. So your definition of good and bad also becomes more and more clear, sharper. Done? Okay. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ